GPC is a soil conditioner. It's not a fertilizer. And it is a NCPB being contracted to do that on behalf of 51 Capital Kenya Limited. So please, it's not really a government subsidy program. Please understand that. If somebody gives you an advertisement as a newspaper or a radio or a TV, it is not really your content. They bought space for them to market that which is theirs. And that is why you keep on saying this is different from the editorial policy. So I'm here as a government spokesman to tell you that GPC is not our product. It's only that NCPB has a mandate to raise its own appropriation in aid. We call that in government. That is its own revenue. And it's not just GPC. There are many other products for different companies because of their reach across the country. So that is where the challenge is. And again, it's not a fertilizer. On the issue of bandits, a lot has been done, honestly. A lot has been done in the North Rift region. And one of the big things that we will do with you, I am giving my undertaking, we will go with you to the North Rift. We will have a tour of that place soon, so that you see for yourselves what exactly is happening. There's a lot of investment. The president received an update. He's a very hardworking president. He received this, during Easter on a Sunday. He was briefed on the same. But it is important at some point, just like we have gone with you to places like Wajir, to Konza, my office will organize for that and we'll give you information in due course. It's been a perennial problem, and I believe that we are getting the solutions to it. So Vincent Afande, no Afande is policeman, the government is policing that area very keenly, and we'll ensure that we don't fail in our mandate. Turiken, it is preposterous to imagine that the government can go to court to stop a process in which it is part and parcel of. And I am of the strong view that the courts cannot injunct proceedings of Parliament. I think it is in good order, it's in good taste, and it goes to the principle of separation of powers, so that then the courts adjudge a process after its completion rather than stopping a constitutional arm of government from performing its role. So first and foremost, such court orders, in my humble submission, are not sound in law and in proper jurisprudence. I don't think so. But what you're asking from me is a political question, and it is a matter of conjecture. The position of government is we are fully behind the NADCO report. It is a bipartisan approach to resolving whatever issues that there are. And the IEBC, therefore, cannot be constituted on the basis that the NADCO report has been stopped. I don't think so. And further, remember there is also another court order from the same courts that are instructing that we go ahead and fill in the positions. Remember, the Kriegler report said we should have commissioners way before elections. We don't want to be caught up, because every other time we are reconstituting the IEBC, and it's not fair to Kenyans. For there to be credibility, institutional memory, and stability, we need to have commissioners who serve their full terms, just like Commissioner Moya Bolu, of course, Wafula Chebukati, and others, so that they can be able to also learn on how is it that is required to conduct elections. So I think that is just propaganda. It's coming from our political competitors, but as government, we want to give assurance that we are very strong and steadfast in ensuring that we'll follow through the NADCO recommendations. The Kenya Kwanza government does not fear any political competition, my brother. If we won the elections when it was against us, what about now? The opposition is trying to reorganize itself, clearly, as we are strong, unflinching, resolved, resolute, and we have the better plan. So anyone who tends to imagine that we can fear competition, we are ready to face them head on. And as you can clearly see, even the main political party, UDA, has already called for elections, so that then we can have that party being properly anchored. The main opposition party, ODM, has also called for elections, so that by the time we go to the primaries, political parties are done and they have been able to recover from the shocks of, or the aftermath of elections, because elections are always divisive. So you cannot fear competition when you're in the business of politics. Yeah. It's not a matter of life and death, but I can assure you, with the kind of plans that we have as government, we are sure to deliver, and we are sure that Kenyans will have confidence in giving President Ruto and our administration a resounding victory for a second term. That one I can assure you. So NADCO or no NADCO, sisi tunasonga mbele. Adam, assalamu alaikum. I wish you Ramadan Kareem. Then your question about doctors is, that leads to only one conclusion, that there may be a political motive in sabotaging the Social Health Act, sabotaging the universal health coverage. There's no way you can explain, because if we've already given 2.4 billion, there's money for postgraduate training. We have agreed to negotiate again the collective bargaining agreement. Then what is on the table? There were 19 issues, and they have been classified 6 for national, 9 for counties. Counties are willing to handle their own issues. National government is willing to handle its own issues. In fact, these negotiations have been led by none other than the head of public service and chief of staff, Felix Koskei. How far can we go? And that was the instruction from the court. So we are obeying the court orders. In fact, they are the ones who are breaching the court's orders for their own ends. So it baffles us. When you've already said, go collect your letters, and then people are saying, don't do so, basically then you're playing politics. Yeah. And maybe there are other forces behind them that just want to sabotage the whole process. Of course, people are going to lose out when Chief works, when Shah works, and so therefore then, especially the private medical healthcare, and some of this involves these doctors. Let's say the truth. Because they work in public and also have private clinics. That's the truth. They are there. So they are now diverting traffic to their private clinics. It helps them. The more the crisis persists, the better. Otherwise, they should be able to go by the Hippocratic creed, so that then they can actually prick their conscience to know that they need to preserve life. On the issue of fertilizer, my brother, is it my brother? Is it Win? No, it's still, I think it's still Adam, if I'm not wrong. People saying the Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture to resign, I think that is a long shot. There's no way he's personally culpable on this one. He's not involved. The investigations are still ongoing. If you look about the issue, GPC, this is a private entity working with a government agency. So I think that is neither here nor there. So far, the Minister for Agriculture is doing his level best to deliver on a key plank of the 5 pillars under the better plan. So that is, those may be our political detractors on the part of the Cabinet Secretary. Now, on the issue of Winnie Kamau from Talk Africa, the Kenya Kwanza administration has always supported free media, freedom of the press. Always. Even when the press was against us, the mainstream media was against this administration during the campaigns. So journalists are allowed to investigate. They may come up to the right findings that help everyone. And if you want to believe that is not the case, look at Muhammad Ali, who is actually a Kenya Kwanza legislator. That's how he made his name, with his Jicho Pebo. So for whoever did this, it is making it to national conversation. And it is true, there are allegations that are being investigated as to whether really there is fake fertilizer or not. There has been suspension of distribution of some of these products, as you may have seen the letter from the Principal Secretary for Crop Development, Rono. So that being the case, therefore, that tells you there is agency in journalists investigating matters, but there is no room in this administration for any form of victimization going forward. We agree, for example, that a lot of changes are happening within the media circle, and the Office of the Government Spokesperson, being the National Government Communication Center, stands with the journalists and believe that you play a very critical role in disseminating whatever information that we want to take to the public, and it's a partnership. And I would want to encourage you to continuously work with us so that we are able to deliver on our mandate. So any person who is investigating an issue, please go ahead, as long as you report objectively and factually, and of course you bring to the light. That is a role of the state. We have benefited in the past as a country from your work. And so therefore, you remember even in my previous address, I called out those people who led to the death of the blogger in Meru. And people must be protected, going forward, because you are doing a patriotic duty in informing the members of the public what is happening. Yeah, so generally that's what I can say concerning the media. And there is no government policy whatsoever to suppress the media. We are not in that business. Good.
More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.